September 10, 2014, Miguel Dorati here at the iBop Vaults. Want to get into MMA video blogging here, and I want to talk about Bellator, the Bellator 131, their big season-ending event that's coming up on November 15th. I want to get into a little bit of the UFC versus Bellator and what's really going on here, because it might get interesting here. This last weekend, Bellator opened their season at 123 in Connecticut. The UFC ran a show in Connecticut as well. The ratings are in. The UFC did win the ratings war, although not by much, not by as much as expected, which is a cool thing, I guess. Bottom line there, Scott Coker was in the news, and he was asked about that, and he's familiar with some of the UFC execs. He called them, and he said, you know, what are you guys doing? We're on the same night, and everything's all good, supposedly, and, you know, it was just coincidence, and there's nothing working there, and Coker accepted that, and that's the official line, but there's got to be more than that, you know? Here we are, Bellator 131, now we're at the end of the season. This is going to be on November 15th, happens to coincide with UFC 181 pay-per-view, which is Cain Velasquez against Fabricio Werdum, the big heavyweight, the big debut for the UFC in Mexico City. And Coker is going to offer his thing on free TV. So now that head-to-head match is really like, really, are you guys really just coincidentally going to battle each other out here? So it should get interesting there. We'll see what this... So what are they going to offer on free TV to take us away from watching Velasquez and Werdum? We already know about Tito Ortiz versus Stephan Bonnar. I'm not a big fan of the match. It'll probably attract some attention and a lot of the crossover audience and people who know the names and stuff. Again, I'm not a fan of the match from the purely sportive perspective. In support of that, they already announced Michael Chandler and Will Brooks for the lightweight title. That's a solid fight. I like the fight. And that's all that's on the card right now. So now we're going to speculate a little bit. Coker also spoke about possibly Shlemenko and Alexander Shlemenko, the middleweight champion, taking on Melvin Manhoff. Both of them are scheduled. Manhoff is the headliner of Bellator 125, where he's taking on Doug Marshall. So should he win and Shlemenko defend his belt against Brendan Halsey the next week, we will probably see that match on the pay-per-view, and that is also a very solid match. I think they'll also offer us a third title match, which will be Vitaly Minakov, probably taking on countryman Alexander Volkov. They've met before. The fight was short the first time, but Volkov has come back. He's the former champion. He's come back. He's won 3 in a row. Looked very solid and has improved. And him and Minakov makes a very interesting rematch. So those are, I think, the core matches there, which gives us now some speculation. Where's Quentin Jackson in all this? So far, Quentin really has not checked in. I expect to see his name in here. Who could he fight? I don't know what kind of, you know, I've speculated, but Forrest Griffin's contract may be up, and he could be available to fight. Who knows what other ideas may be coming in. Not a big fan of Quentin getting a gimmick match. He should be given a tough fight. Really dangerous here, we got Bobby Lashley, who already fought here, beat Josh Burns. Lashley's already got almost 15 MMA fights, and when's this guy really going to do a real fight? Scott Coker has kept James Thompson on the roster, and I think that could be a fight that we're going to get on the pay-per-view. They're both big guys, muscles, look good, and it's just a horrible fight. It's a guy that they're babying for far too long. Bobby Lashley either needs to fight someone for real or get out of the sport, and James Thompson's probably laying around for that. We could also, after that, we could get Rick Hawn, Cheat Congo, some of the other talented names there, King Mo. But what's really hanging in the balance here is what are they going to do with Quentin Jackson? And if Lashley appears on the card, is he going to be given a serious match? And that's what Bellator is going to go up against the UFC's UFC 181 card with right now. We'll take a look at the lines and stuff when it comes out. But there's a lot to talk about there and a lot more than is being said in the news about the head-to-head battle coming up. Bellator, whether you like it or not, yeah, they're a B-class team, you know, organization right now, but they do have a lot of resources, and Coker is a guy who can make a difference over the long haul. So it's going to get interesting. Let's see what goes on.